Don't quit. You're closer than you think. If you fall in business, don't quit. If you make a wrong decision, don't quit. If you trusted the wrong person, don't quit. If the plan failed, don't quit. If you feel discouraged, don't quit. Mistakes are not the end. They are part of the process. They are the tuition you pay for success. Failure is not a person. Failure is an event you see when something goes wrong in your business. Don't think I am wrong. No, think that strategy was wrong, that approach was wrong, that timing was wrong. Quote, but you're still in the game. You're still learning. You're still growing. Don't wish it were easier. Wish you were better. Every person who has ever built something worthwhile has faced failure. Every person who succeeded first stumbled the difference. They kept going. They adjusted. They learned. They stayed in the game long enough to win. Discipline is the bridge between goals and accomplishment. You see, life has a strange way of testing you. It wants to, how bad do you want it? Can you stay the course when it's uncomfortable? And you keep showing up when the reward hasn't arrived yet? Can you keep planting seeds when nothing seems to be growing? Because often success is waiting just beyond the moment when most people give up. You are closer than you think. So today I want to share with you one of the most important lessons I've ever learned. Keep going. Don't quit, even when it's slow, even when you can't see progress, even when you feel like giving up. Because if you keep going long enough, life will reward you for every disciplined effort. There's a multiple reward. Let me tell you something very important. Success has a price. Not everyone is willing to pay it. You see, the journey toward your dreams, it's long. It's not instant. It's not always exciting. And sometimes it feels like nothing is happening. That's when most people quit. They start full of energy. They start full of hope. They start full of motivation. But then the reality sets in. The work is harder than they thought. The rewards take longer than they expected. The obstacles are bigger than they imagined. The twin killers of success are impatience and greed. They want it now. They want it easy. And when it doesn't come on their schedule, they stop. Now, let me give you a law that governs everything in life. It's called the law of the harvest. First, you plant the seed, then you water it, then you nourish it, and finally, after time, patience and consistent care, you reap the harvest. But you cannot violate this law. The day you plant the seed is not the day you eat the fruit. That's where most people get frustrated. They plant the seed, but after a few days they say, where's my harvest? The answer is simple. It's not time yet. The seed is still growing underground. The roots are taking hold. The foundation is being built, but because they can't see it, they think nothing's happening. And so they quit. They dig up the seed before it has the chance to grow. And they wonder why success never comes. Let me give you a truth that has helped me again and again. Progress is often invisible. You won't always see the results of your discipline. You won't always feel the impact of your effort. But that doesn't, it isn't working every time you make a good decision. You're adding strength every time you wake up early. You're building discipline every time. You resist temptation. You're building character. These gains are invisible at first, but one day they compound into something powerful. Let me tell you about the Chinese bamboo tree. You plant the seed, you water it every day. You care for it every day. But for 5 years, nothing grows above the ground. 5 years of effort, 5 years of patience, 5 years of seeing nothing, and then suddenly in the 5th year, the bamboo shoots up to 80 feet tall in just 6 weeks. Now, you tell me, did it grow in 6 weeks or did it grow in 5 years? The truth is it was growing all along, but the growth was happening underground. The roots were spreading, the foundation was being built without those 5 years of invisible growth. The tree could never stand tall. Your life is the same. Most people quit in year 1. Some last until year 2. Very few make it to in year 5. Why? Because they don't trust the process. They let frustration cloud their vision. They let impatience steal their discipline. They let doubt talk them out of their destiny. But here's the truth. You may be in year 4, you may be just a few short months, weeks, or even days away from your breakthrough. But if you quit, now you'll never know you. Cannot change the destination overnight, but you can change the direction overnight, every day. You stay the course. You're moving closer, even if you can't see it. Let me also remind you, quitting has a price too. When you quit, you don't just lose what you have. You lose what could have been. You lose the reward that was waiting for you. You lose the version of yourself you were becoming. You lose the harvest you worked so hard to plant. And often people who quit once make quitting a habit. It becomes easier to give up the next time, and before long, quitting becomes their way of life. The journey is not easy. No one promised it would be. But the choice is always simple. Quit or keep going. Surrender or endure. Walk away or finish strong. For every disciplined effort, there is a multiple reward. If you stay long enough, life will reward you, not always when you want, but always when you deserve. Stay the course. Don't quit. You are closer than you think. Let me share with you one of the most powerful lessons I ever learned. Success is nothing more than a few simple disciplines practiced every day now that may sound too simple, too basic, too ordinary, but that's exactly why most people overlook it. They're looking for something dramatic. They want a breakthrough, a secret, a shortcut, but life doesn't work that way. Success comes from small steps, small disciplines, small choices, repeated every day, tiny. Hinges swing. Big doors you see. Most people think success happens all at once. They believe in the big leap. The lucky break, the one deal that changes everything overnight. But let me tell you the truth. There is no such thing even. The overnight success took years of preparation, years of invisible effort, years of small, consistent actions. What's easy to do is also easy not to do. It's easy to read a book for 20 minutes. It's easy to skip it. It's easy to make 10 extra calls. It's easy to put it off. It's easy to write your goals down daily. It's easy to forget. The danger is not in missing. Once the danger is in missing, over time, because every small decision compounds. Let me give you an illustration. If you improve just 1% every day, you may not notice anything after a week, after a month. Still, not much, but after a year, you'll be 37 times better than when you started. That's the power of compounding. Small improvements stacked over time create massive results. Success is neither magical nor mysterious. Success is the natural consequence of consistently applying the basic fundamentals every day. You exercise, you build strength. Every day you learn, you expand your mind every day, you practice discipline, you strengthen your character, and all of it adds up. But because progress is invisible in the beginning, Most people stop. They don't trust the process. They want to see big results right away. And when they don't, they give up. The problem isn't that people can't do it. The problem is they expect much too soon. They exercise for a week and expect to lose 10 pounds. They work on their business for a month and expect to be rich. They read a few pages and expect to be an expert. When the results don't match the expectation, frustration sets in. And frustration leads to quitting, but if you understand the nature of compounding, you don't get frustrated, you stay patient, you stay disciplined, you know that even if you can't see it today, the process is working. Now let me share the other side. Failure is nothing more than a few errors in judgment repeated every day. Skipping one workout won't ruin you, but skipping every workout will. Eating one bad meal won't hurt you, but eating poorly every day will. Small errors in judgment repeated over time create disaster. That's the danger. It works both ways. The same power that can build your success can also build your failure, quietly, slowly, consistently. Here's what's remarkable. The disciplines that create success are simple, not easy. But simple: read every day, practice. Gratitude, save and invest consistently. Eat wisely, exercise regularly, improve your skills, manage your time. These are not mysterious. They don't require genius. They require consistency. That's why I say success is predictable. You don't have to wonder if these disciplines will work. They will if you work them long enough. Now here's the best part. As you practice these small disciplines, you change. You become more disciplined, more capable, more confident. You're not just building habits, you're building yourself. You're becoming the kind of person who succeeds, the kind of person who handles success wisely, the kind of person who can sustain success long term, because success isn't something you chase. It's something you attract by the person you become. I know it can be slow. I know it can feel like nothing's happening, but you must stay faithful to the process. One book leads to a library of wisdom. One conversation leads to a new relationship. One habit leads to a lifestyle of excellence. You may not see the change today, but one day you will wake up and realize everything has changed, not because of one big leap, but because of thousands of small steps that compounded into greatness. For every disciplined effort, there is a multiple reward. There comes a moment on every journey when you feel like you're losing, you're tired, you're frustrated, you're wondering if it's even worth it. The effort is high, the reward is invisible, and doubt starts whispering, maybe you should quit. That is the danger zone. That's the battlefield of the mind. And how you respond there in that moment determines whether you ever reach your destination. Let me tell you, every person who has ever succeeded stood in that same place, feeling defeated, feeling behind, feeling like nothing was working. But they made one decision. They didn't quit. Don't wish it were easy or wish you were better. They understood something. Simple temporary feelings don't require permanent decisions. Feeling like you're losing doesn't mean you are losing. Feelings are tricky. They change like the weather. One day you're motivated, the next day you're discouraged. You can't build your life on feelings. You must build your life on principles, on discipline, on commitments you made when you were strong. Discipline is the foundation upon which all success is. Built success belongs to those who can keep moving forward even when they feel like stopping. Because here's the truth. You can be tired and still keep going. You can be discouraged and still take the next step. You can feel like you're losing but still win if you don't quit. Sometimes what feels like losing is simply life testing your persistence, the deal that falls through the job you didn't get, the customer who said no, the failure that embarrassed you. You say, why is this happening? But sometimes life isn't trying to stop you, it's trying to strengthen you. Don't ask for less problems. Ask for more skills. Every setback is a teacher. Every obstacle is a lesson. Every failure contains the seed of future success if you stay in the game long enough to harvest it. Let me explain a principle. Resistance makes you stronger. Think of a muscle without resistance. The muscle doesn't grow. It's the tension that produces strength. Life works the same way. The challenges that make you feel like quitting are actually preparing you for the bigger challenges ahead. For things to change, you have to change. You're not losing, you're developing strength. You're building capacity. That frustration you're feeling, it's stretching you, preparing you for on the next level. Let me warn you, most people give up when they're closer than they think. The gold is often just beneath the next swing of the hammer. The breakthrough is just beyond the next call. The reward is waiting around the next corner. But if you quit now, you'll never know how close you were. And quitting too soon doesn't just cost you the goal, it costs you the growth, it costs you the person you were becoming. The greatest loss is not what you lose, but what you could have become. When you feel like you can't go on, tell yourself, just one more day, stay one more day in the fight. Do one more day of work, take one more disciplined action, because sometimes one more day is all it takes. One more call, one more meeting, one more presentation, one more attempt. That's how victories happen, not by leaps, but by refusing to quit, even when you feel like you're losing. Anchor yourself to your why. When you feel weak, return to your reason. Why did you start? What are you fighting for? What future are you building? Your why is the fuel that carries you through the dry seasons. When the promise is clear, the price is easy. If your vision is strong enough, your discipline will follow. You are not losing, you are learning, you are growing. As long as you don't quit, you are still in the game, you are still building, you are still moving forward. For every disciplined effort, there is a multiple reward. Keep going. You are closer than you think. Let me share something with you that has guided me for years. When the vision is clear, the price is easy. You see, the reason many people quit is not because the journey is too hard, it's because they've lost sight of the vision. When you can no longer see where you're going, when you forget why you started, when the goal grows blurry, quitting starts to feel like a reasonable option. But that's the trick life plays on us. When you're tired, when you're discouraged, your mind wants relief, not results. And that's why your vision must be stronger than your emotions. Vision is what keeps you moving forward when everything else says stop. Vision says there is something ahead worth fighting. For when you have a clear vision, obstacles look smaller, setbacks feel, temporary sacrifices feel lighter. The clearer you see your future, the stronger you become today. You see, vision gives today its meaning. Without vision, the discipline feels like punishment. With vision, the discipline feels like preparation. Without vision, you focus on what you're losing. With vision, you focus on what you're gaining. Most people quit because they lose focus. They get distracted by the noise of life, the opinions of others, the pressure of comparison, the temporary pleasures that steal long-term rewards, they forget their purpose. If you don't design your own life plan, chances are you'll fall into someone else's plan, and you know what they have planned for you, not much. Focus is your protection. It's your shield against distractions in today's world. Distractions are everywhere. The television, the internet, the opinions of critics, the drama of others. If you don't guard your mind, the world will fill it with garbage. You must become the gatekeeper of your own thoughts. Choose what you read. Choose who you listen to. Choose what you feed your mind. Stand guard at the door of your mind, because what you allow in will either fuel your focus or fracture it. Don't just set your vision. Once review it daily, write it down, read it aloud, visualize it, talk about it. Why? Because repetition strengthens belief, and belief strengthens action every morning. Remind from yourself. This is where I'm going. When the goal stays in front of you, your feet stay on the path the human mind moves in, the direction of its dominant thought. If you constantly see your vision, you'll constantly move toward it. One of the greatest challenges is trusting the process, because sometimes the process is slow, sometimes it's quiet, sometimes it feels like nothing is happening. But understand this: just because you can't see the growth doesn't mean the growth isn't happening the day you plant the seed. Is not the day you eat the fruit. The seed is still growing. The roots are still forming. The foundation is still being built. You must trust that every step forward, even the small ones, are bringing you closer when you stay focused on your vision. You eliminate unnecessary battles. You stop chasing every opportunity. You stop worrying about every criticism. You stop comparing yourself to others. Instead, you conserve your energy for what truly matters. Success is a few simple disciplines practiced every day. When your focus is clear, your actions become consistent, and consistency produces results. A scattered mind produces scattered results. You can't move forward if you're pulled in every direction. You can't build excellence. While chasing distractions, the man who chases two rabbits catches neither. Focus is about saying no to distractions, no to instant gratification, no to anything that pulls you off the path. There will be days when you feel like quitting, days when doubt whispers louder than hope, days when fatigue clouds your thinking. That's when focus saves you. You say to yourself, I didn't come this far to quit. Now, I'm not guided by how I feel today. I'm guided by where I'm going, and you take the next step. Your vision will carry you through the valleys. Your focus will shield you from distractions. Your discipline will move to you forward one step at a time. And as long as you keep going, you cannot lose. For every disciplined effort, there is a multiple reward. Stay focused. Keep going. The reward is waiting. Let me begin with a simple truth. Persistence is the master key. You can have the right plan. You can have the right talent. You can have the right education. But if you don't have persistence, you won't make it. Persistence is what separates those who only dream from those who achieve. It's what carries you through the seasons of silence, through the delays, through the disappointments. The ultimate reward in life is reserved for those who are willing to persist longer than anyone else. Here's something most people never understand. Success is always slower than you want it to be. Think maybe in 6 months I'll be there, but it takes a year. You say, maybe next year I'll have my breakthrough, but it takes 5 years. That's where most people lose. Heart, they're on the right path, but they're too impatient. They quit too soon because they expect nature to operate on their schedule, but nature has its own timing, and you cannot rush the harvest. The law of sowing and reaping is predictable, but the time between planting and harvest is not negotiable. Persistence does something that no shortcut can do. It builds you, it develops your patience, it sharpens your skills, it strengthens your character, it matures your wisdom, you see, while you're waiting for success. Success is preparing you, because real success isn't just about getting the reward, it's about becoming the kind of person who can handle the reward. $1 million given to the undisciplined will destroy them, but $1 million earned by the disciplined will serve them. The delay isn't punishment. The delay is preparation. Don't wish for less problems. Wish for more skills. Most people won't stay long enough to see the reward. They give up after the first setback. They surrender after the first rejection. They quit after the first dry season. But the ones who stay, the ones who endure through the pain, the boredom, the waiting, the loneliness, they discover what most never will the longer you stay in the game. The higher your odds of winning, persistence increases your chances, because most of your competition is already given up. Sometimes it's not about being the smartest, the most talented, or even the most creative. Sometimes it's simply about staying alone. Enough for your turn. Failure by itself is not the end. Failure is feedback. Failure is education. Failure is simply a few errors in judgment repeated every day. Success is a few simple disciplines practiced every day. When you persist, you give yourself time to correct those errors, to learn to adjust, to sharpen your approach. The man who persists long enough eventually outgrows his previous mistakes. Failure becomes fuel, pain becomes power, setbacks become stepping stones. There will be long seasons when nothing seems to be happening. No applause, no visible progress, no big wins. That's the test. Most people fail because we live in a world addicted to instant gratification. We want it fast, we want it easy, we want it now. But real success doesn't work that way. The greatest rewards are hidden behind long periods of invisible progress you're building. The roots, long before you see the fruits. Just like the Chinese bamboo tree year of no visible growth, followed by explosive growth, but only for the ones who kept watering daily every day. You persist. Your belief grows stronger at first. You need faith, you need hope, you need courage. But over time, your daily disciplines start producing small wins. And small wins build confidence. Soon you don't just believe you might succeed, you know you will. Why? Because you paid the price, you've endured the process, you've stayed the course. Now, let me tell you something even more powerful. The reward is not just at the finish line. There are rewards along the way. Every lesson you learn, every skill you sharpen, every ounce of character you build every day, of discipline you practice. These are treasures no one can take from you even. If you lost everything tomorrow, your knowledge, your strength, your discipline remain, and you could rebuild again, faster, stronger, wiser. The real value is not what you get, it's who you become. Persistence makes you into someone's success cannot ignore at the end of this long road after the waiting, after the labor, after the discipline comes, the reward, the financial reward, the personal freedom, the satisfaction of achievement, the respect you've earned, the strength of character you've built, and most importantly, the peace of knowing you stayed the course. You didn't give up. You didn't surrender to fear. You didn't quit when it got hard, and now you've become someone few ever become. For every disciplined effort, there is a multiple reward. So let me leave you with this. Don't quit. Not when it's hard, not when it's slow, not when it's lonely, not even when it feels impossible. Stay the course. Keep showing up, keep practicing the disciplines, because there is a reward, and it's reserved only for those who persist. And when you arrive, you'll realize the reward was not just in what you achieved, but in who you became along the way. Let me finish with this, my friend. Life will always test your will. It will challenge your dreams. It will stretch your patience. But remember, what's easy to do is also easy not to do. And your future is shaped by the choice you make every single day. You can quit, or you can persist, you can retreat, or you can rise, you can settle, or you can become something far greater than you ever imagined. It's not about talent. It's not about luck. It's about discipline, vision, and the courage to keep going. Success is not something you pursue. Success is something you attract by the person you become. So don't wait. Don't wish. Don't wander. Train your mind. Sharpen your habits. Trust your vision. And keep going, especially when it's hard, because the reward is waiting, and it's reserved for you if you don't quit.